Hello, insert YouTuber voice here. Welcome back to more Fire Emblem, oh my gosh, Pokemon FireRed Nuzlocke. Last episode we beat Misty. This episode, we're gonna make our way to Lieutenant Surge. And it's just gonna be a bunch of, actually, come to think of it, hold on a second. What is the level for this? So, this is gonna be hard to not go over the level cap. Oh, I know what I could do. I'll do the rival battle with this team and pray to whatever's watching me that I don't go past level 24. And I'll get, I'll get Scary Bird out of the PC. Gosh, Nuzlockes are a lot more terrifying when you have to worry about the level cap. Nugget Bridge is all, trainer battles. And then even the Path to Bills is a ton of trainer battles. Well, actually, no, it might be alright. I'll need to take a look at my team. Because realistically, if I can use Cuddle Bear, because Cuddle Bear will be absolutely useless against Lieutenant Surge, I could probably just use Bird. Because Bird is also useless against Lieutenant Surge. Actually, yeah, I just shouldn't use, I just can't use Sage right now, pretty much, because the rest of my team is weak to Electric. And before anyone asks, I'm not really worried about that, because, there's no sense in, trying to keep it a secret. It's not a secret. So one of the places we're going to be able to get an encounter from is Diglett Cave. And as the name suggests, the encounter I can get there is just Diglett, who being a mono ground type should help us out. Maybe let me get Scary Bird out anyways for now, just in case. Okay, we got Scary Bird. I trained him up, and I'm hoping that having another Pokemon who I have no intention of using him against Lieutenant Surge helps, because I don't have that same fear of overleveling on accident. Yeah, because these next 5 battles on Nugget Bridge are completely unskippable. The nice thing about the SSN is, I'm gonna look for items, but most of those fights are optional. There's a few if you want items. The only, truly unskippable fight is the rival battle there. And Scary Bird is destroying souls with Peck. Which is funny, too, because, I have played Fire Red Leaf Green. I find Gen 3 as a whole, really, most of my life. I think I must have done hundreds of playthroughs of Fire Red. Not once have I ever been compelled to use a Spearow. Well, we have a solution for poison types. And a pretty good solution, honestly, at least in Kanto. Butterfree and Confusion can really put in a lot of work. I've also unintentionally became a bit of a bird trainer, because other than Sage, my entire team is part flying. Ooh, I'm the wrong person to send a fighting type out against. So, this guy here is the whole reason an oversight to get a ton of money exists. So, and I can't do that, I can't demonstrate it because it's a Nuzlocke, but watch, so he says, congratulations, and he gives you a nugget. So the nugget sells for about 5,000. He asks you to join Team Rocket because he's, spoiler alert, for a over 20-year-old game, he's a Team Rocket grunt. But if you lose this fight, you only lose, I think, about a couple hundred of your money. and when you come to re-battle him, he goes through his dialogue again as if you never fought him. So he'll actually just... if you just keep losing to him and coming back, he'll just keep giving you nuggets. I don't know how many gold nuggets this guy has on him, but it's clearly a lot. And as I said, like, if you can just use it to get a ton of money really early on. It's actually really funny. Alright, I'm not battling that guy because he is completely optional. But, seeing how I think I would KO most encounter Pokemon, who would I want to find? An Abra would be kind of cool. That is Duplication Claws, otherwise known as dupes. Abra would be kind of cool, even though I only have one chance to catch it. Because Kadabra is actually really solid in battle. It's a Weedle. It's a Weedle. Not quite what I wanted to find, but you know what? It's here. We'll try to catch him. Nice. Let's call him what I call all my Beedrills. Drone. Okay, Attract. Everyone can learn it. Let me hold off on that for now. So, for those of you wondering, Attract kind of does exactly what it says on the tin. It applies a... I have to fight one of them, I think. Damn, that's annoying. It applies the status problem of infatuation. You can only use it against Pokemon who are the opposite gender to yours. So, Sage couldn't do it against Machop because they're both dudes, but like Lizzie could hit Machop with Attract. And if you hit it though, the opposing Pokemon, I think it's something crazy like they only have a 50% chance to act on their turn. Ooh, Razor Leaf. Yeah, it's something like insane like that. So I feel like I'm gonna make use of it at some point because that feels like it could, while being a bit of a gamble, get me out of a tight spot. But it's all about finding who I think is a good fit for that, especially because in the older Pokemon games, like, you could only use TMs once. So, if I'm gonna use a whole move... Okay, you're a spinner. Thank you. Okay, I think you're unavoidable. And I'll have to fight one of them as well. Let me get a Scary Bird back to the front. Hi, my boyfriend is cool. Good for you. And good for him. Oh yeah, we want to use Lizzie for this because Nidoran usually have Poison Point in these games. So contact moves give me a chance of getting poisoned, and while I do still have those 8 antidotes from way earlier, not ideal. Okay, hopefully if I do here... Yeah, okay. It means I can't get that item early. I'll need Cut for it. When you're doing like a typical like playthrough of Pokemon FireRed, basically if you trigger this battle from far enough away, he moves out of the way and you can just get that item without needing Cut. But because I'm trying to avoid unnecessary battles... Uh-oh. Okay, good. Hyper Fang can actually be like really devastating because it's same type attack bonus as the Rattata. And I believe it's something like base 80. It's a really good move. I was very surprised. The first time I ever used a Rattata in like a playthrough, I was like very pleasantly surprised by that. You I can avoid if I time properly. Oh, that's scary. And I think you're my last unavoidable trainer. But you can see why I had to be careful, like, because between Nugget Bridge, which is actually 7 because of the rival battle, 7 unavoidable battles, then the SS Anne, which is also has an unavoidable battle, then the 2 gym trainers in Lieutenant Surge's gym, which are technically avoidable, but once you see his puzzle, you'll see why I'd want to battle them to get them out of the way. Okay, there's something interesting about Scary Bird if he's going to evolve like I think he might. That I'll explain when it's relevant. Actually, what am I doing? I'll explain now. I don't remember the exact level. Editing me, if you have a chance and if it's even relevant, look it up and then put the answer on the screen if it's relevant. If it isn't relevant because we end up like doing this later in the episode, then don't worry about it. Oh yeah. So Spearow evolves at level 20. However, if you hold off on the evolution till, I want to say 25, but don't quote me on it, he gets Aerial Ace and by level up, and Aerial Ace is really good, so I guess no one's here, I'm kidding. Hi, I'm a Pokemon. No, I'm not! Yeah, basically, he's been fused with a Pokemon. Eat your heart out, infinite fusion. I'm kidding. And we just gotta separate him. And for, you know, unfusing his DNA from a Clefairy, he gives us a suitable reward. Hang on. He gives us a suitable reward in the form of a cruise ticket. Yep. Oh yeah, and I believe there are some unavoidable trainers on the way to, I always get them confused. I want to say Vermilion City. I get Vermilion and Viridian mixed up. Oh yeah, and that guy's an unavoidable battle. But let me heal first. And let me deposit... You know what? No, I'll keep Drone for now. Guys, he's just an innocent bystander. I don't know what you're talking about. He's totally an innocent bystander. You know what? Impromptu rule I'm gonna add here. And I have a feeling that I'm gonna regret this later, because I'm kind of just doing it, you know, spur of the moment. But going forward, I will only do gym battles with the same amount of Pokemon that they have. So Misty I would have done with 2, but, you know, it wasn't a rule till now. But Surge, I believe, has 3. He has Pikachu, Voltorb, and Raichu. So I'm only going to bring in 3 Pokemon with me for that battle. I'm sorry if my audio gets weirdly quiet. I just leaned back in my chair. It's a Meowth! And I'll see in editing if my audio is a little too quiet. Actually, I just checked now. It doesn't look that different. I got so distracted with the fact that I leaned back, I accidentally killed it. Whoops! Sorry, Meowth. I was so excited too. Oh, that sucks. Oh well. Okay, let's try to avoid any unnecessary fights here, and, you know, focus your mind, because... Oh, this is actually an encounter. Oddish! Okay, I'm not mad about this. I mean, if we ever get unlucky enough to lose our starter, this is a solid replacement. In fact, oftentimes, if I'm playing through FireRed and I don't pick Bulbasaur as the starter, I usually catch an Oddish and use Vileplume. I'm gonna take the... You know what? No, I'm not. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's Gen 3, so this should work. Yeah! In the newer games, grass types are immune to, like, Sleep Powder, Stun Spore, or Poison Powder. But, in these older games, they are very much so susceptible to it. Yeah! Oh, I didn't state this when mentioning the rules. It is kind of like a goes without saying type deal, but I'm not using any legendaries in this playthrough. Radish. So could I you know, could I technically use a repel? Oopsie, I didn't mean to do that. And go have, you know, Zapdos, Articuno, or Moltres as my first encounter? Yeah, absolutely. But that feels, again, kind of just against the spirit of things. And what's great, too, is because this is the only episode I'm recording today, so I bet you anything, whenever I sit down to record more of the Nuzlocke, I'm going to completely forget that I skipped those trainers, and have to probably battle anyone that I skipped or missed this episode in the next episode. I don't know, I feel like that sentence was a bit jumbled, but I hope you got the general idea of what I was trying to say. Oh, by the by, this isn't relevant for Cut, but if we're ever in a situation where we need an HM, and no one on our active team or in our box can learn the HM, which is rare, but it can happen. Ow! Eradicate, my goodness. Fortunately, while Misty and Surge are very close together, I think Surge and Erica are farther apart in level, so I don't think it'll be as tight. Okay, I already know I want to use Diglett. I'm kind of scared with Diglett, and the reason for that is twofold. The first reason is that Diglett has actually very poor HP, so it's not exactly impossible for me to accidentally knock it out. And the other reason, too, is that training it on the SS Anne, especially considering that I'm most likely going to skip a lot of the trainer battles, or actually most of them, is extremely dangerous as well, because Diglett is very much the type, and I know this from just how many times I've played this game. If you're gonna use it in a battle, try to one-shot. Otherwise, if you don't, it's very likely that he will faint. I know because I've used Diglett to trivialize Surge before, and that's usually how it goes. Fun fact, you can also find Dugtrio here. I think it's extremely rare though, but okay. I can't damage you, because if I damage you, you're going to die. Because not only do you have, like, no HP, you're weak to grass. Oh, it was irrelevant. I was gonna say, like, but stay in the ball! Mr. Reset. I was trying to call him Mr. Resetti, but... well, you normally have enough characters in newer games. Apparently you don't in older. Let's look at Reset. He's Rash Nature. Oh, he had Sandvale. I actually could have swapped out. And he is a Glass Cannon. In fact, I'm probably going to hold off on using him until we're at the gym. I wonder what the next episode of Educational Television is going to be. I think these trash cans have berries in them. There it is! Okay. I am officially clear to just finish SS Anne. That's literally the only thing I really wanted. Let me find my bed, though, to heal. It's not there. And while part of me kind of feels weird pretty much skipping the SS Anne for the most part, it is for the best. Bird fight! Whoopsie. Wow. Two crits? My goodness, Bird is like... Bird realizes I can't use him against Surge. So Bird just wants us all to remember why Bird is so good. Wow. Okay, I have to swap Bird out now. Well, actually, no, I don't. Though, I don't think I'm doing much to Kadabra. I feel like Lizzie is actually weirdly effective here. Yes, Cuddle Bear is more effective, but you know what? I will point out, I would have been confused Had I sent Cuddlebear? Oh no. No, not like this. You suck. Okay, Cuddlebear. I need you to hit this, or this might get really bad if he keeps lowering our accuracy. So Cuddlebear, if you hit Kadabra, I'll take you to Canada's Wonderland. Yeah! I had to get the accuracy drops off, otherwise this could get really bad. Lizzie, I'm sorry! Oh my gosh! What? Wow, I expected that to kill Butterfree just now. I was fully ready for that to kill Butterfree. I did not expect Butterfree to not only live, but she kind of ate that up. I should be going for flinches. Especially because if I get burnt, Bite is special in this game, so it doesn't matter. Okay, we made it past the rival. Good stuff, Lizzie. My gosh. That was incredible. How is her special? I'm gonna check her special defense in a moment. I have to know. 29. 4. Whoa. Wow. What is Butterfree's base special defense? Because the only thing on my team that has more special defense than Butterfree is Gyarados. And it's not by that much, really. That's good to know, I guess. This is like giving me a newfound appreciation for Butterfree. Which is great, too, because, well, I'm not posting about it yet, because I'm still trying to beat Pokemon Scarlet with all shinies. So while I haven't posted about this yet, I have also been playing through Ultra Sun with only shinies, because SOS hunting makes hunting, like, in that game not too bad. And Butterfree is surprisingly underrated. This is gonna be my team for Surge. And the Weedle is literally just if I need it to sacrifice something. And like, I'm not even gonna be leveling up the Weedle. The Weedle is literally just if I need to sacrifice something to get like, switch. Hang on. And now you're about to witness the worst gym challenge in Pokemon history, which is truly a monumental thing to say. But when you see what it is, you'll know that I'm being very serious. So I took 2 quick attacks, and I had to heal Diglett. So it's what I'm saying is that Diglett will help us win, but maybe don't get too attached to him. Yeah, especially because Voltorb love using Sonic Boom, which does a fixed 20 damage, which, if I didn't heal Mr. Reset, could have been absolutely debilitating for Mr. Reset. Fortunately, Magnemite don't have Levitate, even though they're clearly levitating above the ground. Never got that. Sturdy, of course, makes sense. They're a metal construct, but I really think Magnemite should have access to Levitate. And I understand that would make it really powerful, but at the same time, it is very obviously levitating above the ground. Magnitude 9. Okay, Mr. Reset, save some of these, like, high numbers for Surge, okay? Okay, level 24. As long as I don't go to level 25, I'm okay. And I didn't, so I'm okay. And, okay, now as I kind of get Sage up one more level, let me tell you how this gym challenge works. So, all these trash cans are here. We need to talk to them. We're looking for something that has a switch. So now that I found the first one, The second one is going to be any one of these adjacent. There is no rhyme or reason to it. And when you get it wrong, they reset. So I do it like this, because when I was younger, I used to think, like, the second switch could only be, like, one of the ones not checked. But as soon as I learned that it can be literally any adjacent lock... Oh my gosh, thank you. Alright, that wasn't too bad. But I've literally I've seen and played games where, like, you're just stuck here for 10 minutes looking for the adjacent lock, and it's all luck. Now, before we battle Surge, it is now time for educational television! Oopsie, wrong one. I need to just... Actually, hang on a second. Educational television! You know what? We're about to take on a gym challenge. A gym battle. Our third one, mind you. But let's learn about type matchups. Let me just take a sip of water because this guy's voice kind of hurts my throat a little bit. Hey all you trainers out there! Hello, trainers! I know the voice is slightly different. Get off my back. Come on, let me hear you! Hello, trainers! I'm trying to do a voice that doesn't damage my throat. Come on, you better have been yelling for Pokédude just now. It's me, the Pokédude! Does everyone know about type matchups? Pokemon and their moves all belong to certain types. For example, there are such types as grass and water. You need to consider the type of the move used to attack, and the type of the Pokemon that is hit by that attack. Depending on how these two types match up, the damage can change. You see, it depends on whether the type matchup is good or bad. If you don't know how matchups work, battles will be tough. So let me demonstrate exactly what I mean. Alrighty, here goes. Keep your eyes glued to the Super Pokédude show. There's a lot of Oddishes here. Pokédude, Poliwag is weak to Oddish. Aw, Pokédude! The move Bubble is a water-type attack. The targeted Oddish is a Grass Poison type Pokemon. The water-type attack is absorbed by the Grass-type Pokemon. As a result, the move becomes not very effective and inflicts only half the usual damage. Uh-oh, this is not good. The Absorb attack you just saw is a Grass-type move. Poliwag is a Water-type Pokemon, so Absorb becomes super effective, doubling the damage. It's not going to be easy to win with this matchup. Let's try shifting Pokemon. You know what might be a fun challenge run? Seeing if you can beat FireRed as the Pokédude. Shifting Pokemon in and out uses up one turn. Now it's the opponent's turn. Butterfree is a Bug-Flying type Pokemon. Against this Pokemon, a Grass-type attack inflicts only half the usual damage on a Bug-type Pokemon, and it also causes only half the damage on a Flying-type Pokemon. Therefore, Butterfree, being a bug-flying Pokemon, only takes 1/4 of the usual damage. I'm surprised they explained 4 times resistance and weaknesses. Oddish is a Grass Poison type Pokemon. A Flying or Psychic type attack is super effective against it. One of those types of attacks will inflict double the usual damage. Okay, here we go! Here we go! This is one of the longer battles that Pokédude has. It's usually like relatively short fights just to explain basic concepts. Yeah, we won! So I was just stretching. Is it possible to launch an attack that will inflict heavy damage? Does the opposing Pokémon pose a threat to your Pokémon? Is there any chance that it may have disastrously tough moves? Watch the type matchups to gain the upper hand. Alrighty, be seeing you. Oh, for the cool type Pokédude, awesome type kids like you match up perfectly. Remember, a good deed a day brings happiness to stay. That's what I'm saying, like, disguising tutorials as, like, educational television in the game is one of the more creative, like, options, and I wish they did it in future games, because let me tell you something, Kid Me was a big fan of the Pokédude show. Anyways, I think it's fine. I had a moment where I was like, did I remember to put... Do I have Mr. Reset up front? No, I'm pretty sure it's fine. Okay, Lieutenant Surge. I really don't want this playthrough to only be 3 episodes, so... Let's try to get through it. The nice thing about Mr. Reset is to tie into the type matchups, being a ground-type Pokemon, not only does electric types... do I do super effective oh my gosh. Not only do I do super effective damage against electric types, but I am immune to electric type moves. That's why Pikachu was only using quick attack against me. Alright, 7 is fair. I don't want to use Dig against these guys because Pikachu and Raichu on Lieutenant Surge's team really like to use Double Team. Should've used Dig. That's not gonna OHKO. Like that. Ow. Ah! I think that kills. It did not kill. Surge should heal. So I'm gonna try to do something here. Yay. Nice. Okay, that puts Raichu on a bit of a timer. And this is what I mean by wanting a free switch. Sorry, drone! Oh god. And actually, at this point, I think Dig is the smarter move from Diglett. Because while I do take one more quick attack, especially with Leech Seed healing, honestly, like, let me see something actually. Because these double teams are kind of a problem here. Actually, I think Magnitude is smarter. Damn it! I should have dug there. Now I kind of need him to use... Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, Mr. Reset survived! Come on, Mr. Reset. Come on, Mr. Reset! Damn it! Okay. Do I want to gamble that Surge tries to heal again? I think I do. Damn. And just like that, it all comes down to Sage. I should resist this. Yeah. Okay, we're okay. It sucks that Mr. Reset died the same episode he was caught, but... yeah, we win, thankfully. I mean, it sucks to lose Mr. Reset so soon. Especially because our team was kind of hurting for a ground type, but there are other ground types in the game. And it's like I said, like, Diglett is extremely fragile, extremely squishy. So, while it sucks to lose him, I can't say I'm surprised that it happened. Especially knowing that Raichu and Pikachu like using Double Team. I kind of knew it was a chance. It's kind of why I'm debating switching Bird and Scary Bird. Because Scary Bird will get a Aerial Ace. Before we end the episode, let's have our fallen brethren join Ralph in the dead box. I'll say a few words before we end off the episode. Drone, gonna be honest, you kind of really didn't do your job. I brought you to kind of help Mr. Reset survive by giving me the option of a free switch, and you just didn't. As for Mr. Reset, you know what? We only knew you a short while, but you did your job well. You did take out most of Lieutenant Surge's gym. It's just you missed some unfortunate moves, and you didn't roll high enough on your magnitudes. And you know what? I hope you're cheering us on. As far as who I'm going to bring with me... Again, we are like super... This team is super weak to electric type Pokemon, but I'm hoping we do have another encounter next episode, so hopefully that can help mitigate that weakness. But anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you're liking the series, please leave a like. If there's stuff you're trying to tell me, tips, tricks for Nuzlockes, please comment. I want advice to get better, and the only way I can, I can't solve a problem I don't know exists. Anyways, until next time, remember to take care of yourself. Bye-bye!